take a fresh look at life outside.
Enjoy the unsurpassed beauties of Britain.
Teeming, turbulent, monumental city.
父が大好きで、いつも
I remember those days with each memory we made. Though the years may have passed, golden moments will last, they won't fade away. Back then we had time to wonder how and why, but what we didn't know then was we're all making history. We're all shaping the way we want it to be. As we look into the past, the time is changing fast, but together we'll be home at last. With every step you've taken, you leave a mark in the sand. As the hill gets steeper, you're searching for a helping hand. But now we finally found the place where community's the key, the key. We're all making history. We're all shaping the way we want it to be. As we're looking to the past, the time is changing fast, but together we're all making history. We're all shaping the way we want it to be. As we're looking to the past, the time is changing fast. Together, we'll be home at last.
There's a spider on my chair. I hate spiders. Thank you. Hi, my name is Jane and this is For Feathers. Usually this is where I come to do like my homework and play games with all my friends and stuff. I live near here in St Grove in Marylebone. I've been coming for Feathers for about 3 years now. For Feathers is a youth club, and like there's lots of people here that you can make friends with. Oh yes, winner, champion baby! You could like play lots of board games, you could do lots of activities. Here's the ballet room where I usually do my ballet class. I really don't enjoy it much because the teacher's really strict and she like stretches you and she pushes you so hard it like hurts. Now we're gonna go to the IT room where like I do computer games with my friends. Yeah, I have 4 older brothers. Sometimes they help me with my homework, or they like take me out like to the cinemas or stuff like that to play games at our arcade.
Is it fun having 4 older brothers?
Yeah, because they take you to lots of places and it's just really fun being the youngest because you get the most attention. Now here is the room where we do like pool games. The youth workers work here are really friendly and nice because like they help you with stuff and they like to play games with you and they make you happy if you're sad. We do like football games, and then on this table we do like arts and crafts. Yeah, I feel proud living here because it's a really nice, friendly like area because I made lots of friends here. My friends like live in flats and stuff. We like play games in the parks. Here's where we do like football or like basketball games and they like do hula hooping. Oh wait, and we got the music studio where we usually do like music or we get to play on guitars with Keith. Here's like the drums and the guitars. And then he would like sit here and like organize all the music stuff. And then someone would be inside here and like singing it into the microphone. Ooh, I'm singing la la la. Was that good? Okay, that was good, but can you try again? Okay.
I first came to Four Feathers, I think I was about 6 or 7, and I used to sneak in. Well, what I used to do is I used to wait for the cool kids to all come, and when they would come in and would be signing their names on the register, I would usually slide past one of them and somebody would hold the door for me, and then I'd slide into the club that way. I started working at Four Feathers Youth Club. I was 16. I started off as a volunteer. And basically I was brought in because I was a very good basketball player and I was interested in coaching basketball. Yes, Kazi, what are you up to?
You good?
Yeah?
Yeah, you?
You good?
Yeah.
When I became full-time member of staff, I started branching off into lots of different other sports and activities. I was using a lot of my graphic skills and my art skills to do workshops and programs. I was doing a lot of my boxing skills to do training and boxing fitness. Let's go. And me and Andrew, the manager, we went and got ourselves GNAS qualified so we could teach archery. And I even had a small archery team that represented Westminster in the London Youth Games. I'd definitely say I was lucky because I was still young and I was in an environment where I was given authority and I was doing things that I enjoyed and I was getting paid to do them. And so I just really enjoyed it. What inspired me to work with young people, I think, would probably have to be my mum. My mum grew up in care. And so she always grew up with having children around her, and then she set up her own childminding business. And so I always grew up with people in the house and helping people. Me and my sisters and my other siblings, we grew up like that. And it was just nice to be able to help individuals and help youngsters to see that there's more to life than just what the estate has to offer. I've always been the joker of the family. I'm always one for making jokes. I've also got a very serious side. When it's time to be serious, I can be very professional and very serious. It's just getting the balance because sometimes I want to be a big kid and I'll go and play football. It's just who I am. I've always been bubbly, always been open. And I'd say I've always been willing to listen to people. And I think that's a strong quality. I still work with young people now and helping people get into work, and it's still within the local community. I like to work with young people because when things go right, it's very rewarding and it's a good responsibility to have.
I'm Kat Pugh. I'm the head teacher of the St Marylebone School, and I'm also the exec head of the St Marylebone Bridge School, which is our affiliated special school. Actually, this is in a way the third school I've ever taught in. The first school I taught in was in Ghana. It was a brilliant experience. I taught for 2 years in a comprehensive school in Croydon before I came here in 2005. St Marylebone is a school that is now 230 years old. We are based right here in Marylebone, and there's been a school serving the community for all that time. So this is effectively our main entrance. It doesn't normally look like this. These are our new hand sanitizer sprays. I didn't mention that those smell of tequila, did I? But this is definitely a school undergoing renovation, isn't it? I used to teach in this room when I first started at Marylebone, so it's got quite a special place in my heart. Most head teachers have a PA, but I have a fox. This fox was made by Alini when she was in year 9. Before the fox, there was a gorilla, who 2 years before that, the gorilla was also a year 9 project. I definitely didn't grow up knowing I wanted to be a teacher, and not even when I was applying to be the head teacher did I think, yes, I'm going to be the head teacher. I think I just had approached stuff in a do what you do with full heart, learn from it, enjoy it, learn more and see what happens. And I think that was an experience that I was lucky to benefit from growing up. No one in my family is in education. No one had ever encouraged me in that direction. And I had a sort of average experience of education myself. I didn't go to an exceptional school for my GCSEs or anything like that. So no, and actually our approach with our students here to the careers agenda is not work out what you're going to do now for the rest of your life. We're much more about work out what you're interested in doing at the moment and see where that takes you. It's totally unrealistic to expect anybody at the age of 15 or 18 or 21, you know, to know what they're going to do for the rest of their life. So our staff will say, look, we don't know what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. This is what we're doing now, and look, we're loving what we're doing. And I think that's a more important message for the young people to hear, because it's a very changing landscape of professional life for them, isn't it? So.
I grew up in South Wales. After leaving school, I didn't really know what to do and explored a number of different options, and I decided I'd go into the Royal Navy. Being at sea, I think, is something which is a life-changing experience. Just looking up at the sky when you are hundreds of miles from land and there is no light pollution, and just engaging with the stars is something which is just phenomenal. Being at sea, as a ship ploughs through the oceans and there's bright phosphorescence being cast away as the ship ploughs through the waters, just puts you into contact with those elemental things. And I really don't think there are any atheists in the Royal Navy. I think if you've been in a you know, in a hurricane or a terrible storm or in an enormous swell, you're miles from anywhere. I think prayer comes naturally, and you engage with all of those mighty things which are so much greater than anything that earth can create or put in your way. Going into the Navy was one of a number of options. Becoming a priest was another of those options. And during my time in the Navy, I just sensed this overwhelming feeling of being called into the priesthood, and I offered myself for training. They said yes. I am the rector of St Marylebone, and I came to Marylebone nearly 11 years ago. So this is the crypt hall. This used to be full of dead bodies until 1983-84. Space here is what's called the St Marylebone HCC. It's a centre for psychotherapy and for counselling and spiritual direction. This was what all these rooms looked like until the mid-1980s. This is my predecessor, Christopher Hamill Cook. I think it was all part of the vision when he became rector to do something with an enormous space, and then into the space where the dead had been, they would bring the living who needed some help. I think the thing about Marylebone is it is the most diverse community possibly anywhere on the planet. So we have everything between the palaces of Regent's Park and some very small inadequate accommodation in other parts of this parish. This building was built between 1813 and 1817 and is the fourth parish church. The first one is in the basement of Debenhams on Oxford Street. St Marylebone Parish Church, of course, gave its name to this part of London, so until 1400 it was simply Tyburn and Lilliston. Community has always been very important. I think building and shaping, sustaining community is something which is hard work. And I think people think community just happens, and it really doesn't. So there has to be a huge investment of both money, but also, more importantly, of people wanting community to work. I'd always done lots of things that were community shaped and focused, and therefore doing something that was an act of service in terms of career was something that was always going to be the case.
This game really means a lot. It gives me a lot of adrenaline. I get very competitive.
So do I.
So I'm more competitive. You need a lot of concentration because if you're not looking for just like 1 second, suddenly the other person shoots like, yeah, you need to be like good under pressure. You cannot, okay, you can't hesitate for a single moment. You need to be very quick on your feet, you like move around a lot. My friends and family would describe me as really quiet, really calm. It will not be aged for. No, absolutely not. I have my moments, of course. I live in Lisson Green. I've lived in this area for a long time, 8 years actually. You don't really get bored often because there's like a park, there's even a market, a library. It's a really good area. My mom's actually like a support teacher and she really inspired me. I just decided that's what I want to do, that's what I want to be. And I also want to help children like find their way, what they want to do to be themselves and to really develop their own character.
I'm Alexandra from Colombia. This is Loki, this is a rescue dog, and everybody loves, yes? Yeah! She's a nice dog, she's a really nice dog. I'm here just in this club to teach dance. My background is with ballet, jazz, contemporary, and gymnastics, and aerial circus style with silks. I'm just trying to give the opportunity to the people to learn something that's going to be useful for their lives and for their careers. At the age of 3 years old, I started with gymnastics, and step by step, I've been developed different kind of skills and learning different kind of areas and learning different kind of styles of dance. I'm quite passionate and quite tough. I think this is what they like or love about me. Well, this is how I am. The reason I'm tough with them, not just because I want to push them to improve their skills, also because I think they can have a benefit to see life different and confront their life and their own problems in a better way. I was the youngest of family of 4 kids, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I'm the youngest. My parents, they showed me once you fell on the floor, you don't have any other thing to do, just stand up and just go forward. Sports, art, dance has in common this kind of thinking. If you fail, step up on the mistakes and just learn and go forward. I'm a physiotherapist. I study physiotherapy. I love dance. That's why I study also physiotherapy, because it has in common these 2 movements and develop of the mechanics of the body related each other, these 2 careers. 5, 6, 7, 8. Growing up in Colombia is really nice. It's a really nice country, but also the people is really passionate and people is really disciplined to do the things they really want. No, push yourself, kick the leg, take the risk. I think the base of the development of the human is the family and friends. So if you have the opportunity to have a good people around you, you can do a lot of things. That we call emotional support.
My home is originally in an industrial town in Germany. I have lived in Marylebone for the past 23 years. There are 2 reasons really for why I got into neighborhood planning. First, when I moved here, I thought this area really needs regeneration. Then I became part of the regeneration team that the council set up for the area. See, this is a Lisson Green estate, and this is its community center. Unfortunately, it is now under threat by development plans, as so many other aspects of our neighborhood. Church Street is the northern part of Marylebone, and as you can see, much of it here is social housing. It's not as posh as other parts of Marylebone, but much of the housing here, for example this one, was already constructed before the war. I have fond memories of my childhood. We kids did a lot of stuff outdoors, building tree huts, damming creeks, and playing in general in the nearby forests. Hello, good afternoon, sir. This is the gentleman with the nicest garden in the neighborhood. We are here in Broadley Gardens, which is like the green lung of this very, very densely populated area. A green lung or a green space like this is all the more appreciated when you have a lot of people who share it. Well, one of the major changes that the area has experienced is this huge development of over 500 homes, of which only 16% are affordable. When you approach the area at night, you will see probably 90% of all flats on Lisson Green, where I live, you'll find them illuminated. What's your guess about how many of these homes will have light on at night? This kind of change does not provide the changes that local residents need. My parents were very keen on that we would learn well at school, but took us on adventure holidays where we would explore. And that also may explain my early affiliation for London, because we went here on a family holiday in the 1970s, exploring the whole country. This particular area is one of the most ethnically and socially diverse, and it's important to preserve the mix here, which can only be done if new development is really geared towards the need of the existing local population. I think it's very important for our well-being that we have roots, that we attach ourselves to a ground where we feel comfortable, secure, and where you can plan our future.
What I think Marylebone would look like in 100 years, I think it's going to have floating houses and raining food so nobody will have to be hungry again. I think Marylebone will have flying cars and hoverboards.
I'd like to see Marylebone as an alive green space. No cars, just wildlife, flowers and birds.
I think it would be more modern, maybe more lampposts.
I think Marylebone will be super duper busy. There'll be new shops all over the place.
A lot of new technology and buildings and stuff like that. I think it'll look very colourful, pretty, and there are lots of flying cars around there. I think Marylebone will be full of robots doing human jobs, like selling stuff in shops and building stuff.
So I think they're probably going to knock down a lot of the old buildings and just replace them with high and modern ones so that we can have more people in them. I think people, they might be staying in more, maybe using more technology than we are today, so that they might have computers and iPads and phones and TVs in their rooms, so they're just playing with that stuff and not really going out.
I think it will look kind of the same and kind of different, because you can't expect it to look exactly the same in 100 years. That's a very long time, of course. In the future, I think Marylebone will be super high-tech. However, I still think there'll be some alleyways or parks where it hasn't changed for the last 100 years, and I don't think it ever will.
I'm originally from Afghanistan, and nearly 10 years I'm in London. My family, my kids, my wife is here with me. My younger was this accountant, next one in engineering, and my little one, she's in year 8, my daughter. In Afghanistan, we were happy. After the war, that's why we're coming here. We are happier now here, not in Afghanistan, because there's not respect for anybody in Afghanistan now. I'm 9 years in this shop. I'm working here in Marylebone area. I sell mostly ladies stuff, dresses, scarf, different abaya, jewelry. Mostly we have local customer from the area. We have 90-95% ladies from Asia, Bangladeshi, Indian, Arab people, Kurdish people. They are mixed culture there. Hello, how are you? These things, mostly people they use for parties, wedding, special occasion. Yeah.
What's the most popular item?
Mostly item we sell abaya.
Do you want to show me?
Yeah. This style, they're all abaya lines. We sell these kind mostly. Yeah, these things popular because the Muslim ladies normal they use these things cover all their body, and we have all good customers. They respect us and we also respect them. That's why we are here.
Fine.
You okay?
Right.
Good.
Yeah, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. You okay?
Why do you choose London and not somewhere else?
Because mostly our people in London, mostly our community in Southall, Birmingham, Manchester, Onslow, everything is nice. Everything I like here. Because there's freedom. Mostly I like freedom. They don't interfere and they respect anybody. This is my reason. I like this one. Now I'm British, so we don't go anywhere. We stay here. I feel happy. And
I grew up in Nairobi in Kenya. I was born there, and then I moved to England when I was 7 years old. I'm a chef. Originally, I trained to be a journalist. I founded Jikoni in 2016. So you can see the first thing about the restaurant is that I'm obsessed with textiles. So these textiles come from all over the world. These curtains are from Kashmir. Our tablecloths come from a women's cooperative in India. I only wanted to open in Marylebone, which took some doing because there weren't that many sites available in Marylebone. So when this one came up, it felt like Providence. What we do here is we cook in a maternal fashion. This place is a love letter. It's a tribute to all the incredible women in my life who've ever taught me to cook. I come from a family of cooks. I grew up in a place where women cooked. They cooked communally, they cooked together. 25 to 30 aunties who'd all come round, chattering, gossiping, lots of commotion. I was a little girl and they just showed me so much love and kindness, and you could see people doing things around you. You know, these women throwing spices and pods into pots really confidently, knowing what they were doing, and the smells, and you are so attuned to it, you inherit that. You know, that becomes your inheritance. I wanted to celebrate that maternal tradition of cooking where you're not cooking to show off or to be flash. We cook to nourish and to nurture. There's lots of sort of little bits that pick up on our heritage. This staircase, for example, is a replica of my husband's great aunt. She died a few years ago in her 80s, and she was one of these amazing maternal cooks. This is a photograph of me with my grandfather. He is really my hero. He really believed in being generous with people. He believed in the idea of community. I love this neighborhood. Although it's central London, it is a community. The food here is the food of immigrants. I came to this country when I was 7 years old, and it took time to settle into a place that felt so unfamiliar. There was such an ache in my soul for what we'd left behind, but also a kind of curiosity and a wonder of what my new nation had to offer. And I think that's what immigrant food is. It's about preserving your own traditions, but then as you begin to settle, you're overlaying the traditions of your new land onto your old traditions. And in doing that, you create a new cuisine, which is what I believe immigrant cuisine is. I carved out a space for what I thought Englishness meant to me, which is about diversity, it's about pluralism, it's about taking down those borders, because that's for politicians to do. But with cooks, you can always take down borders.
I've always been a florist, and I had my own shop for 25 years. And then the guy whose flowers all it is grabbed me one morning and said, could I do a week? And I've been there since. How you two, all right? Yeah, I mean, I just like being around people. They don't get past without talking. I'll stop them and make them talk. No, I've got people here that used to walk past, you know, nothing. And now they stop and have a chat. And some people don't talk to no one all day, do they? You know, you don't know. You might be making their day, mightn't you? You might not be. You might be annoying them, you know what? My dad says I was inoculated with a gramophone needle. You ain't been out on the razzle again, have you? No. If you're going Clacton, M11, you like one of them as well. Oh, I like them. And this week we didn't do Sunday because I sold out Saturday. Well, the thing is, as we said, they let you get drunk before the children could go back to school, didn't they? Yeah, that's it. I might need sequins and a split, I think, Jean. I've worked in Marylebone for about 7 years. There's a lot of people with a lot of money around here, but there's a lot of people that haven't. And sometimes they spend a lot more than the ones that have got the money, you know, like. I've got 2 children and a husband, been together 30, 34 years, 35 years. We never married. Don't get me wrong, if I had a lot of money, I'd think, yeah, we'll have the party, you know, like. But I wouldn't want one of them posh ones in an hotel. Do you know what I'd do? I'd go back to how people had it, 70s, 80s, get the local hall, couple of barrels of beer, get your mum to knock up some sandwiches, a few vol-au-vents, because that was posh, bit of cheese and pineapple on a stick. I said, but I'd go big time, you know? Well, it's Friday. Party Friday afternoon.
Love you.
Love you. There's some lovely people around here. But I had a lady earlier with the white roses. She said, oh, you were right. They lasted 2 weeks. So I said to her, come back and see me if they don't. But she came back and bought more. I've served Joan Collins, very nice lady. Who else? Oh, Barbara Windsor, you know, she turned our Christmas lights on. I don't really watch films and all that. So I served here one day. Is it Matthew McConaughey? Whatever, yeah. Yeah, I've served him about 4 times, but until like the 3rd time I said, someone went, just served it. I went, who is it? I've seen a lot of changes in the area. Most of the building work now is geared towards high end. You know, there's a lot of London people being pushed out of London. I'm not moving, I'm staying. I won't go anywhere. Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it, haven't they, eh?
Thank you.